for a run. Gonna hop on my scooter, going down to the store. When people say, are you him? I'll say, not anymore. With the wind in my hair, I'm gonna scooter my blues away. Hear those islands calling my name. Just the first time I saw them, Lord, I ain't been the same. Maybe I'll end up in Toulouse, over in Canada, Willie T's and Duval, gonna buy me a bar on Duval Street. Learn how to kickbox so I don't get fat. Suck on some coconuts and play me some checkers. Gonna lay on my beach till all my freckles connected. Gonna hop in the boat, throw the paddle away. Offer my heart up to the break and the sway. Wake up every day in the sun. Gonna kick off my flip-flops, go for a run. Gonna hop on my scooter, going down to the store. People say, are you him? I'll say, not anymore. The wind in my hair, I'm gonna scooter my blues away. Gonna hop in my boat and throw the paddle away. Offer my heart up to the break and the sway. Wake up every morning in the sun. Gonna kick off my flip-flops, gonna go for a run. Gonna hop on my scooter, going down to the store. People say, are you him? I'll say, not anymore. With the wind in my hair, I'm gonna scooter my blues away. With the wind in my hair, I'm gonna scooter my blues away. That was Scooter Blues, Sturgill Simpson. I'm Baron Smith, and welcome to BaronSmithPicker.com hosting Inside the Studio, Season 2, Episode 1. So stick around, we're going to get right to it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Inside the Studio with BaronSmithPicker.com. This is the Season 2 premiere, Episode 1, Inside the Studio. You know, they tell you that songwriting is a formula. They tell you it's about a polished hook, a shiny suit, and a room full of people in Nashville telling you what works. Let me tell you the truth from the trenches. Songwriting isn't a job, it's an exorcism. Yeah, that's right, it's an exorcism. It's what happens when the life you've lived gets too loud to keep inside. It's the sound of a 72 Telecaster screaming in a Garland bar after 25 years of silence. It's the grit in Kenny Chesney's voice when he tells a story on No Shoes Radio about getting booted from the Ritz-Carlton because he didn't look the part. See, the world wants you to be standard. The world wants you to fit into the lobby. But songs are born in the parking lots. They're born in the lower keys. They're born in Texas. They're born in Mexico. They're born in the rock gardens. They're born in the Elks Lodges of the world. If you want to write something that lasts, you have to be willing to be the guy who gets kicked out for being too much of himself. And you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. But I'm Baron Smith. This is Season 2, Episode 1 of Inside the Studio. Today we're tearing down the velvet ropes We're talking about the Buffett Blueprint. For one, the Chesney water incident, and why the best view in the world is from the back of a tour bus or the front of a local stage. Grab your coffee, grab your guitar, and let's get to work. His full name is Kenneth Arnold Chesney. His date of birth was March 26, 1968. A Tennessee boy through and through. His current tour for 2026, he's actually doing the Sphere residency in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then he'll be doing the Tortuga Music Festival. So, Kenny Chesney's ride, he tours on a fleet of Dreamliner luxury coaches. He famously kept a vintage Silver Eagle, the Iron Lung, that hit over 1 million miles. He's a guy who loves his gear as much as he loves his fans. He's actually got a book. It's called Heart, Life, Music. So this was released in late 2025, and it's not necessarily a tell-all gossip book. It's basically a love letter to the process. It's about a kid from East Tennessee who realized he could paint pictures with words. His struggles, so he talks about the early Nashville days that no longer exist, playing for tips on Lower Broadway, and being the guy who worked harder than anyone else. He had a fantastic work ethic. Highlights of his career from the book, he got to meet his heroes. He got to rock stadiums. And the specific moment he saw Jimmy Buffett play in the pouring rain, and that's when Kenny Chesney realized that an artist's job is to give love and positive energy no matter what the weather is. It doesn't matter if it's raining, pouring, sun beating down. You got to have a positive attitude. You got to be a happy person. Jimmy Buffett always said, I got to be the beach. They got to feel like they are at a Jimmy Buffett concert, just like they would feel sitting under a palm tree at the beach with ocean waves nearby. So Kenny Chesney's Picker Connection, so he treats his career like a catalog. Each song is a snapshot or a milestone. So Kenny Chesney, he had a unique twist because he had a Buffett Blueprint. Is Kenny Chesney the last parrot head, or is he the first pirate? So Kenny didn't just love Jimmy Buffett. He replicated the architecture of Jimmy Buffett's empire. I mean, if you're gonna imitate someone, there's worse people to imitate than Jimmy Buffett. So Kenny Chesney actually had a tropical shift. He started out trying to be George Strait, but then he eventually pivoted to Gulf and Western genre of music because that's where his heart ultimately was. So his infrastructure, just like Jimmy Buffett, Kenny Chesney, he has his own radio station, No Shoes Radio. He has his own spirit brand, Blue Chair Bay Rum. Blue Chair Bay Rum. And he has a fan base displayed widely in No Shoes Nation. Jimmy Buffett had parrot heads. Kenny Chesney has No Shoes Nation. And it's actually more of a tribe than a crowd. He actually does have a reggae soul. So he has made trips to Tuff Gong Studios in Jamaica to record with the Marley family's legend. He's taken the island music mantle and making it country. But just like Jimmy Buffett had the peanut butter conspiracy, Kenny Chesney had his own incident. It's the Ritz-Carlton water incident. You probably didn't hear about it unless you are an avid fan of No Shoes Radio. It didn't make the newscast. It actually didn't make the newspapers. The story is only heard on No Shoes Radio. So here's the scoop, okay? So you heard it on No Shoes Radio, if you caught it. Kenny Chesney and the Poets and Pirates crew, they walked into the Ritz-Carlton looking like they had just come off a fishing boat. Well, here's the conflict. It's the Ritz-Carlton, and they're in the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton dressed like vagabonds. So they ordered 4 bottles of water, not a $500 bottle of scotch or even his own brand of liquor. He didn't order any tequila shots or margaritas or rum runners. He ordered 4 bottles of water. Not a 5-course meal, just water. Kenny Chesney and his poets and pirates that were hanging out with him ordered 4 bottles of water. So the Ritz-Carlton management did not see a superstar. They didn't see a concert king. They didn't see Kenny Chesney. They saw a guy in flip-flops taking up space and not spending enough money. Money is the key word here. He wasn't spending enough money, regardless of who he was. They were told to leave. Kenny Chesney was told to leave the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. So this is why No Shoes Radio is essential. You know, like I say, you're not going to see it on the evening news or in the Miami Herald. You know, this occurred in Florida. You won't find this in a public relations cleansed press release. Shows that despite 35 million albums sold, Kenny Chesney is still one of us. He's the guy who can sell out a stadium on Saturday night and get kicked out of a hotel on Monday for not wearing a suit. And that leads us up to my topic about the Elks Lodge recap. So from the Elks Lodge to inside the studio. So Kenny got kicked out of the Ritz-Carlton for being too casual. I just played the Garland Elks Lodge where casual is the only dress code that matters. So I actually had 2 sets that I released on YouTube. I had about an hour and 15 minutes with playing the Fender Telecaster. And then I had a separate acoustic set, which featured a Waylon Jennings medley. So the acoustic set, I covered songs from Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama, and that Waylon Jennings medley with Rainy Day Woman, Shine, Louisiana Women, Rose in Paradise. It was basically some raw, unfiltered energy, and a lot of people did get to see it live, and quite a few of you have actually viewed it on YouTube. If you haven't already, check out my station, baronsmithpicker.com. And then we're going to get back to what I led with, how to be a songwriter. Well, I'm no expert, but I have written close to 100 songs. Some I've done on the channel and some I haven't. Majored in literary studies. I don't really talk about that a whole lot, but it has greatly assisted my writing, and it is a passion of mine. I do love to write, even just to scratch that literary itch, that creative, compulsion I have. But I'll just give you a few nuggets that I've learned through the years from the masters. Writing songs, you must listen to everything. Don't put yourself in a box. Listen to the structure of the music. Listen to classical music. Listen to the soul of jazz music. Listen to the rhythm of hip hop. Listen to the storytelling of country music. Listen to Roger Miller, Chris Wall. Their pictures hang in Captain Tony's bar in Key West, Florida. I'm talking about Shel Silverstein. He wrote everything from children's books to country music hits. These are the guys that don't see the light of day. They don't get to grace the stage. They're the ones in the back rooms. They're the ones cranking out the songs. We recently lost a really great one in Todd Snyder. He was one of the rare few that was able to do both, have success in both. He didn't really care about success, though. He just wanted to experience life as it came, and that he did. But like I said, listen to everything, first and foremost. Write what you know. If you know the sting of a house fire and the joy of a 25-year comeback, put pen to paper, write it down, make it rhyme. I'll tell you this, authenticity is the only currency that never devalues. 3, avoid cliches like the plague. That was one of my all-time favorite lines from a Chris Wall song, but Absolutely true. Avoid cliches like the plague. If you've heard it in a pickup truck commercial, don't put it in your bridge. Find a new way to say old truths. And one of my favorite, Right by Candlelight. It stirs something deep in the brain, pre-electricity, pre-Thomas Edison, pre-industrial revolution, but the memories are still there. I call it genetic memory. It's instinct. But Right by Candlelight, just don't knock it till you try it. There's something about the flicker of a flame that kills the distractions of the digital world. Get quiet, get dark. Let the song find you in the shadows. And number 5, watch Inside the Studio with BaronSmithPicker.com. We'll work through the mechanics of the song. I'll tell you how I wrote them step by step. I'll tell you what was my frame of mind. We're going to have other guests on the show. We're going to have them tell their songwriting experiences, their life experiences, their connection to music. I have several guests lined up, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. But in the meantime, I'm Baron Smith Picker, and I'm hosting Inside the Studio. This is Season 2, Episode 1 premiere. Whether you're on a Dreamliner bus or a bar stool at the Elks Lodge, it's about the connection. Kenny knows it. Jimmy knew it. After 25 years away from the mic, I'm glad to know it. But check out the full footage of my Waylon medley at BaronSmithPicker.com. Keep picking, keep playing. Don't ever let the Ritz-Carlton tell you who you are. Other than that, I'll see you down the road.